Basically, we haven't done anything easy all year, so there's no reason for you guys to suspect that tonight would be easy. I thought we showed a lot of character. We went up twice. They came back and equalized twice on us. I thought the beginning of the second half, we started to take the game to them early in the second half. We were a bit unlucky, maybe not to find the third goal. When you look at shot stats, sometimes those are misleading, because you look at shots, but you're looking, for us, a lot of opportunities were crosses that were right there on the doorsteps that they're clearing, off the line or clearing before one of our guys gets to it, so it doesn't count as a shot on goal, but those are dangerous chances. A lot of guys sacrificed tonight doing different things. I mean, Evans is the one who came over and said, I'll go to left back, bring Zach into the middle. Dempsey's the one who said, hey, I'll play on the outside of midfield and you can push Valdez up front so we get a few more minutes out of him. A lot of guys gave of themselves tonight, and I think that showed the character of the team, so I'm very, very proud of those guys.
Dempsey and Valdez moving around there, but what else did you change at halftime, and what were you looking for, and what do you think you achieved?
We just wanted them to step up a little bit more. We wanted to get tighter to Gerard. We thought Rose was off of him a little bit too much. Wanted to make sure that Freeberg got in front of Rose a little bit more, that we closed that gap and connected to our front line, and we wanted to make sure we got at them in the wide channels. And obviously, Evans did a good job attacking on the left-hand side and getting forward from there, which is something that Leo sort of provides for us. But I thought, we got Mears more involved in the game as well offensively, and as we attacked more on the flank, I think that helped us.
What was sort of the thinking on the way that you chose to fill the Ozzie gap, and what do you think his chances are maybe for Sunday?
We don't know. It's sort of, with Ozzie, we're treating it day to day, as we move forward. The reason we went with Rose is we thought he was physically a better matchup for Gerard. And he's also a guy who hits pretty good long balls if he's playing deeper in there. There were a few balls he hit where he opened the game up, and just his work rate and his speed, not his speed because he's not the fastest guy in the world, but his ability to close things down, helped us. It was certainly a tough decision because he hasn't had a start in a while, but sometimes you roll the dice, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you don't. But we felt the matchup, was better because Gerard played more offensively the last two games. We thought he was going to play higher. We didn't want Freeberg to get stuck with that matchup, and we didn't want Pineda to get stuck with that matchup, so that's why we went with Rose.
Matt Calkins.
This is a team that's Galaxy has won a lot of MLS titles. They've had your number in the playoffs. I imagine that beating them feels a little special, maybe even like a breakthrough for you guys.
Well, it definitely feels special because I think this is the first time we've advanced past them, for sure. You guys know that stuff better than I do. I try not to pay attention to that. But what I do know is in the last two playoff games that we've played them, we've beaten them twice here at home. We're a pretty good team in one-off games. Our Open Cup history shows that. So I think, when you look at our Open Cup finals and you look at the game against Colorado 2 years ago and this game in do-or-die games, I think we're 6-1, which is a good record to have. And the one was on penalty kicks that we lost. So, it definitely feels good. We talked before the game about, hey, we started something last Sunday. We want to continue it today. We want to carry it into next Sunday. And, I think these guys have a lot of heart and desire, and sometimes, that carries you a long way.
Sigi, are you happy with the way you guys defended tonight, and maybe how much did you miss Ozzie's presence in terms of being that calming figure in there? It was a pretty chaotic game.
Well, Ozzie helps us, a little bit defensively, but the way the Galaxy plays too, they're a counter-attacking team. Their strength of their team is in their attack, and maybe the weaker part of their team is in their defense. So it's always, in all the years that I've seen Bruce Arena teams, it's always a situation where I know we're going to get chances, but I also know they're going to get chances because it's just the way the game goes. And if you look at our Galaxy games this year, the one we tied at home, we were getting good chances in the second half. We're all over them. The one in L.A., I think one of the games we had like 10 shots on goal on target, and we were unlucky not to finish some. So that's just the nature of the game. So it looks a little more chaotic, and certainly Ozzie's defensive presence helps us in there because he's a quality player. But on the same token, I thought Rose did a good job tonight, and he opened the game up for us, which was important as well.
Tim Booth.
Sigi,
about this group tonight with, like you were talking about earlier, with some of the sacrifices guys made, or had that shown up kind of during this run that you guys have had the last 6 weeks or so?
You know, we went through a lot, a pretty good ordeal in the summer. And I think a lot of guys got bloodied, and in that period of time, an expression that gets used in soccer. So, I think what they showed tonight, which I know they have, is that ability to sacrifice, for each other. And Dempsey showed it tonight. Evans showed it tonight. Valdez probably shouldn't have played as many minutes as he did, but he says, I'm going to give you everything for as long as I can. So they showed that part of it, and then you have the ability to bring guys off the bench like a Roldan, who's a 20-year-old rookie, and bring him in when we're trying to kill the last 5 minutes of the game, and he even has to drop to left back. But because of the experiences he had in the summer, he's ready for that opportunity now. So it was good.
Your summer transfer window guys featured in all 3 goals tonight. Can you say a bit about that particular group and their play?
Well, they're guys that play with a lot of heart. I mean, I think you can see that with Valdez, and him sliding into that second goal. Ivancic's one of the reasons, and we brought him here. We knew he was going to give us some danger off set pieces. So Andreas did a good job, served a good ball in. I haven't really seen the replay, so I'm still not quite sure why he was offsides, if Dempsey touched the ball or didn't touch the ball, or, I'm always confused by the offsides calls anyway on those things. And I'm coaching, and I'm confused. So you can imagine how confused the referees are. I think those guys certainly play a key role, but they also, they've been in big games, they've been in big competitions, and they play with a lot of heart.
You mentioned the team play with a lot of heart. This team has been used to coming into the playoffs as one of the top teams in the conference. This time was a bit of a struggle. Would you say the team has a different mentality, kind of playing with a chip on their shoulder this time around?
I think last year we were good. We were unlucky, I think, to get knocked out last year at the conference semifinals against the Galaxy, or was the conference finals. I can't remember which now. I'm all confused. But I thought over the 2 games, we played better than them. So I think the team, and that was missing. It was missing a number of key starters for sure. Tonight we missed Marco Papa, because he wasn't able to go or even be on the 18. And I told him, we'll win for you tonight so you can play on Sunday. But I think having gone through some of the struggles that we, went through, it makes you stronger. You learn more. You learn more from failure than you learn from success sometimes. And we've always, we struggle a little bit, and I think the guys know that, hey, this is a window of opportunity we got to take advantage of.
Will and then Nick.
You'd said that Brad came to you with the idea of switching to left back. It looked like ONeill might have been getting up. So what was that conversation like, and then what, I guess, if anything?
We were thinking about ONeill. We were thinking about Zach. Zach was getting his stuff ready too, but he wasn't. ONeill had gotten up. Dave Tenney, my fitness coach, had gotten ONeill up sooner and quicker, and Zach was a little more delayed on it. So we were contemplating which way we'd go. And, when Brad came over and said, hey, if you want me to go to left back, that sort of made my mind up for me. But again, that's evidence of the kind of captain he is.
Could you tell what happened on the injury there at the end?
On Brad, yeah, it's a hamstring again. You don't know how bad it is. Right now there's a lot of emotion in the game. We'll have a better idea tomorrow.
Nick.
Took mine, but Ivancic looked like maybe he rolled an ankle in there, but it seemed okay at the end.
Yeah, he said he rolled it a little bit. I talked to him, and he says, but it's not bad.
Could be a possibility Sunday.
Yeah.
Michelle.
How does how your team played tonight, getting this win over this team, set the tone for what's to come? We set sort of a bar for ourselves in terms of the effort and the dedication that we want to put into games. One of the things we've talked about the last 2 games is we've got to put our soul into everything we do, from here on out. And I think they did that. And that's something that's got to carry forward.
Art.
When you learned that it was going to be the Galaxy on Sunday, did you hear from any of your players and the veterans who've been through the previous matches, anything that they said that told you that these guys were keyed in?
I mean, nothing where anybody came up and said something, you know. I mean, I think they knew, hey, you know, this is a team that we need to get off our backs. You know, we need to get beyond them. And being at home, we talked briefly about, hey, you know, last time we were at home against them, we won, and that's just what we got to do again. But this isn't they're not a rah-rah group. You know, they're not a group that goes into the locker room and, you know, is slapping each other on the back and is pumping fists and getting each other going. But they're guys who, you know, they know when the whistle blows, they know when it's time to go to work, and they went to work tonight.
All right. Freeberg hadn't scored all season, and then he comes through with the game winner. How crazy was it just for him to be the guy who came through in that moment, and then also the manner in which he scored it?
That was strange. Did he hit that with his left foot, too?
Yeah.
You know, of all things, you know, I said, when was the last time you scored a goal like that? And he was saying, well, and then he laughed. He goes, I don't think I've ever scored one like that. So, you know, he's, you know, he gives us something in midfield. One of the reasons he was in there is because his ability to play forward, you know, his ability to play forward passes and get onto the, you know, into the box and be dangerous that way. So, you know, it was great because he works very hard. He's another guy who works hard in games.
Last couple, and then maybe one or two follow-ups. Masvidal.
So you talked about the professionalism of this team. Can you expand a little bit about what you expect kind of moving forward now you got this done, and how this group can just look at the goal that's ahead and move forward practice-wise, tactically, and try to get what they need?
Well, we got to understand that, you know, this is just the beginning of our journey. This isn't the end of our journey. You know, this is the beginning of our journey, and now we're in the conference semifinals, and we want to continue to keep the journey going. So we can't relax. We can't sit back. We've got to continue to push forward. We got to continue to do the things that we've done well over the last two games. You know, obviously we've scored 6 goals in the last 2 games. You know, our ability to use our width a little bit more has definitely improved. It's something that's got to be maintained. You know, we stretch the opponent's defense more, you know, so that helps us. You know, when Valdez went up front, that's when Oba dropped a little more. But prior to that, Oba stayed pretty high and did a good job of stretching the opponent's defense. So we gotta continue to do those things tactically well, and the guys stuck to the game plan tonight. But also we have to realize that this is just the beginning. This is not the end.
Looking at the potential rivals that we still have ahead, would you say still that this was the sweetest win of the season?
Every win right now is sweet, you know. So you know, this is one along the road, along the path, and you know, obviously, you know, it feels good because they've been the team that has knocked us out, you know, a number of times. But we're not going to get too focused on that. We're going to enjoy that tonight and enjoy it for about a half day tomorrow, and then we get to work on the next game on the next game for Sunday. Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach, 9 games unbeaten now, and especially with the performance you guys have put out these last 2 matches, how will this momentum carry you forward into the playoffs?
Well, I think every time you win and you get a result, I mean, it helps you. You know, I read somewhere that over the last 2 months of the season, I think us and Dallas had the most points, you know, over that period of time. I think we were like 5-1-4 in that period of time, and they had 20 points. We had 19 over the last 2 months. So I think we've been pretty consistent. I know there's some games that we looked maybe a little lackluster, and we ended up tying some games, you know, and we had to come from behind to tie some games. You know, but we were able to do that. We were able to do that in San Jose. We were able to do that in Houston, and we were able to do that at home against the Galaxy, you know, earlier in that string. And earlier it was either a win or a loss. And so that ability to come back, you know, that character, and was showing through. And when you get healthier and you've got guys on the field, it makes a difference.
Jackson.
Coach, it'll be Vancouver or Dallas on Sunday. You played Vancouver more this season. Do you have a preference for either one?
Doesn't matter to me, you know, although we have played Vancouver a lot this year. You know, I think we've played them 5 times, and so if we play them in a series, that would be 7. You know, I don't know. That could be an MLS record for how many times you play a team in a year. But you know, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that we're into the next round, and we'll watch the games tomorrow night, and that'll let us know who we play.
Maybe one for the last question.